Okay, guys, today we're just going to learn some basic notations that we need to do. Points, lines, planes. All right. Clearly, it's pretty basic to understand that this would be point A, right? A point is just a space holder, right? There's really no distance, area, anything to it. Then we can have point B. If we connect those points, this is called segment AB. Because it has two defined endpoints, A and B, the notation is AB using the two endpoints and then just a bar over top. It has a definite start point and end point. It starts at A, ends at B. Or it starts at B, ends at A. The order does not matter. You could also call it BA. Okay? That is how we name a segment that actually has a beginning and an end point. If a segment has a beginning and an end point, you can measure it. You can take a ruler and measure this. To find it, let's say this was 5 centimeters. We would say AB, the length of AB equals 5 centimeters. If we don't put a bar over top and we just write AB, the starting and end point with no bar, this is the distance between A and B, or the length of segment AB. Okay. So a segment has a defined start point and end point. The length of it, you just leave the bar out. The next thing we have is we can draw a line through AB. We have a line through AB. There is no start or end point. It is just line AB. So we actually draw a line. Line AB. There is no start, there is no end. You cannot have the length of line AB. You cannot measure something that has no beginning or has no end. It goes on forever and ever. Next we have a ray. Ray AB. Which would be A, B. The key here is the starting point has to be here. So this is ray AB. This is going to be ray AB, A is right there. The starting point is A. AB. And the arrow always points right when you do the notation, does not matter which way. A plane. Two-dimensional, just flat. Think of it as it's the floor going on forever and ever. In order to name it, you need to use 3 non-collinear points. Collinear on the same line. They have to be 3 points not on the same line. Because if I drew these 3 points on the same line, let's call it Q, R, S. I can draw the flat plane like this, or I could draw a plane vertically through this line. So it can be vertical or flat. Because if it's linear, I could draw a plane infinitely many times through this. So it has to be 3 non-collinear points. 3 non-collinear points to name this plane. Plane ABC, or sometimes you see it as a script. That's not a point. See, there's no dot. It can just be called plane M. Next, intersections. We have intersections. This one's pretty easy. If 2 lines intersect, the intersection is a point. That's where the 2 lines intersect. Line M. Now see how there's only 1 point here? We can name this line M. Line M. Okay. Line M and line N intersect at point A. 2 planes. See how we have a vertical plane and a horizontal plane. They intersect at a line. Two planes intersect at a line. That is why, let's review, that is why you cannot have three collinear points to name a plane. Which plane are these 3 points on? Are they on the blue plane or the red plane? Exactly, they're on both. That's not going to help us. So if we want to name the red plane, we'd have to take A, B, C, D. The red would be plane A, and then any two of these. We'll go A, B, C. The blue, we'd have to have something up here. Let's call this Q. The blue would be plane Q, B, C. Right? So that is why you can't have 3 collinear points to name a plane. So that's what we have. Those are our basics. So if we review, we have segment AB, the length of segment AB, line AB, ray AB. Okay. Segment, length, line, ray. We'll learn later on that when it's a length, it has value. There's value. You can actually find the length. So this is for later on. This is a preview. We would say AB equals something. A segment, there's no value to a segment. It's going to be the segment AB is congruent. All right, this stuff is later. This is later. This is just a preview. Whenever we're talking segments, they're pieces, congruence. Lengths are equal because you can have value. We'll talk about that later on. Last thing we have is just 2 vocabulary words, or 3, I guess. A postulate or an axiom. Postulate, axiom. We're accepting it as a statement of fact. We don't have to prove it. A point's a point. A line's a line. I can look at it. I know it. This is like common sense. Like, all right, look, I know what a line is. I can look at it. I know it's a line. I know it's a segment. A postulate, we just know it's true by looking at it. A theorem, you have to prove it. You have to show this conjecture, this hypothesis, something you feel is true. You have to prove that it is true. A theorem, you know, Pythagorean theorem. We proved that last lesson, showing that it's just a distance formula. Okay, so a theorem you prove, postulate, axiom is fact. I want you to go to the notes. There's a couple practice questions to do. All right, I'll give you the formal notes in a PDF, and then there's a couple practice questions here, here, and here. I want you to do those, and we'll go over them to start next class.